Hi everyone, so we're going to be working on this lab today in class. So I wanted to send out this video just to give you some instructions of how to do this. So we're going to be taking a look at different food chains and food webs and how they interact with each other. So through all this, please read through this background information. We are going to start with our procedures here. So we're going to look at these following food chains one at a time, and we're going to complete table 1. So we're going to fill in all the squares that each animal listed to the left side receives energy from by eating. Be sure to do one food chain at a time when completing the table and do not confuse the eating animals with the animals they eat. So let's take a look at our food chains here. I'm going to do the first couple with you so we can get used to what we're going to do, and then I'm going to explain the food web portion of this lab as well. So let me get my marker on. So when we take a look at our first one, we need to move to our consumers here. So if we take a look at our first consumer, because we know that all of our plants are primary producers, we can see here is our first consumer. So we're going to take a look at our snail, and we're going to find our snail on the predator's side here. So here's snail, and we know that snail, if we look to the left, is going to be eating plants. So that's going to be my first X. Then we're going to move down the food chain to our secondary consumers, our mouse. So again, let's move down to our predators list. Our mouse is going to eat our snail. So we're going to come across until we get to snail and cross off that box there. And then we're going to look at our last one, our tertiary consumers, is our raccoon for this food web. So we're going to again take a look on our predator side. We know that our predator here is going to be eating our mouse. So we're going to cross off mouse here. And we're going to do that same thing for all 18 food webs. So let's do another example. So our first one, we know these are producers. We're going to our first consumer, which is our sparrow. So again, we're looking for sparrow on the predator side. Our sparrow is eating plants, so I'm going to check that off. Take a look at our next one, our secondary consumer. We're going to take a look at our hawk. Look on the side on predators for hawks. Our hawk is going to be eating our sparrow. So we are going to cross off sparrow there. So we got that down. Let's do one more together. So if we take a look here, we know this is our producer. So we're going to move to our first consumer, which is the rabbit. So looking on the predator side, rabbit is eating plants. Then our next one, our fox, is our secondary consumer. We're going to take a look on our predator side, fox, and we're going to look for rabbit in our prey and cross that off here. So you're going to do that for all 18. We've done the first 3 together. So now once you have your entire chart filled out, I want you to answer the 2 questions at the bottom, but then our second part is going to be making this food web. So if we take a look here, we can see all the animals are displayed, but you're going to use the chart you just made to make your food web. So if I start with what I have so far in my chart, yours is going to be completely filled out. I'm going to start with our first prey here, looking down. So we can see that the energy from plants is going to the rabbit, the snail, and the sparrow. So I'm going to draw an arrow from our plants to our rabbit, to our sparrow, and to our snail. So that's the first part of my food chain. Then we're going to go to our next prey here, which is our mouse. So we're going to go draw an arrow from our mouse to our robin. So mouse to our robin. And then from our rabbit to our hawk. And from our snail to our mouse. And from our sparrow to our hawk. Okay, so you can start to see some of these food chains coming together. When your entire table is filled out, it will be a really good idea to go by one prey at a time and draw in all of the arrows for that specific prey, so you don't get confused. It also might be a big help to unstaple your packet and just go, again, cover one by one and go as you're making your food web. And then I would just like you to complete the rest of these questions, the rest of these 6 questions at the bottom, and we will go over all of these later on. Okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to message me in the Teams chat.